And so what happened also in World War II? So Nazism got destroyed. The fascists and the Zionists were the political fronts that provided the spirit of World War II. And the most important statement of this demonic prophecy was that Israel was going to become a sovereign state. In 1871, there was no Israel. Israel was like done. It was inconceivable to think Israel would ever be a nation. But here it is. Satan knew Israel would one day be a nation again, and it would happen as a result of the actions that would occur after the Second World War. So was Albert Pike accurate in 1871 about World War II? Yes, he was. And scarily, he was accurate to the very letter. So now we have World War III, the war that is yet to happen yet. So what is said about World War III? What did Satan know about World War III in 1871? Let's read. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agency of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islam world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the State of Israel and her allies, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilist and the atheist, and we shall provoke a formidable social catalysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effects of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilizations, and the multitude will become disillusioned with Christianities, and their deitist spirits will form that moment be without compass or direction, and they'll become anxious for a new ideal, but without knowing where to render this adoration. And then they will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer through his agent, Antichrist, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So World War III is supposed to be the final war to be enacted to initialize this one world government. So of course Satan is going to throw his own spin on World War III. He's going to say World War III, when I look at World War III compared to how he prophesied the other first two wars, Satan knew that his end was soon to come in World War III. And so instead of saying that, okay, well now I'm going to be revealed by the end of World War III, once Jesus destroys this planet for its rebellion, we're all going to die, basically. I can't say that, so what am I going to say? I'm going to make them think like I won, and everything is going to be great, and we're all going to live on Earth, and we're going to do what we want. I don't think so. So, but we got to look at some of the things that was mentioned about how World War III was going to start. And so he did realize a certain truth in that, so I'm going to relate the truth in terms of that. He said that the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world will basically cause so much trouble in the Middle East that it will divide the world politically, so that when a war starts, all these nations will be dragged into it. Is that happening? Yes, it is. It's happening right now as you're speaking. Right now as we're talking, it's happening right now. That's why you have all this trouble in the Middle East. That's why there's political division. You got people on the side of Israel, and you got people on the side of the Arab world. And it's being centered and pushed into that one geographical position. And so when war starts, it's going to start there, and it's going to drag everybody into this war. And it says that this war is going to be fought to pretty much extinguish every single resource of mankind, and even their very physical and spiritual natures are going to be broken. So what do we have here? We have severe depression that will make the Great Depression look like a picnic. You know, we have a spiritual lost nature among people. People don't know where God is anymore, because the Christian world has become so diluted with the denominations and the nitpicking and fighting that they lost direction in how to approach the people. And so economic exhaustion will be done. And so what will happen is that by the end of this war, which doesn't seem to have one clear leader, one clear winner, the winner is actually the Illuminati. Because what they're doing is using this war to destroy every single structure of how you know the world and its nations, to bring those walls down and open the way for one world government. Because what will happen is that the nihilists and the atheists are the kind of political fields you got going now. There are going to be the spirit to inspire World War III. A nihilist and an atheist is basically, people who believe in spirits and Satan and New Age, and people who don't believe in anything. And so it is a completely godless war. It's a godless spirit to fuel this war. And so by the end of it, there will be so much death, so much destruction, so much disillusion. Nobody has nowhere to go. Everybody is lost, confused. And so what happens is that the Antichrist is revealed. The Illuminati comes into public view. They reveal their leadership, and they provide the only answer for everybody. Take the mark or die. So what we have are some very horrible things on the horizon. And a lot of these things are going to have a very detrimental effect on society. And so we have to be very, very cautious and very, very careful of how we conduct business and how we, how we see our government, how we follow our government, how we should be reacting to our government. And so this is a time now to keep your faith in Jesus Christ. The Illuminati hate the Bible. The Illuminati hate this pure Christian faith. They hate the idea that God is from the beginning. They hate the idea of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They hate the idea of a man having faith in the Old and New Testament as connected under one God. They hate the fact that you worship the Son of God and not the Son. They hate these beliefs. They hate Shemite prayers of 3 times a day. They hate these things. And the reason why is because these things are real. These things are the real Christianity. What will happen in World War III is what you got there. But the end result is not going to be everybody living in a demonic paradise. No. The Antichrist's kingdom is going to be terrible. And it's not going to last long. And by the end of all of that, there will still be people of God here, by the way, too. And so during that, God will raise his prophets, do his thing, as also written in Revelation. So his word is going to be present there. So this isn't the end-all, be-all of all of this. You know what I mean? And so when that prophecy comes to pass, and when that's done, which will leave a lasting effect on mankind, this extraordinary miracle to come from God, people are going to have to make a decision. They're going to have to decide for God or for not. And so by the end of all this has come Armageddon. So who is Armageddon going to destroy? The Illuminati and those that selfishly follow them. So let's talk just a little bit more about the Bilderbergers, because the Bilderbergers are the most powerful front of the Illuminati on earth, and these are going to be some of the guys to implement things to come for World War III. And so in late 1952, we have Rietinger, who went to America to try the idea out on his American contacts about the Bilderbergers. And so among others, he saw old friends as Arvell and Harriman and David Rockefeller and Bindle Smith, then director of the CIA. And after Rietinger explained his proposal, Smith said, why didn't you come to me in the first place? He quickly referred Rietinger to C.D. Jackson, who was about to become Eisenhower's special assistant in that time for psychological warfare. And it took a while for Jackson to organize the American wing of the group. But finally, in May 1954, the first conference was held in the Hotel de Bilderberg, as mentioned before, near the German border. And so Prince Bernhard and Rietinger drew up the list of invites from the European countries, while Jackson controlled the American list of Bilderbergers. So the idea of the Bilderberg meetings originated in those early 50s, and changes had taken place on the international political and economic scene after World War II. So the countries of the Western world felt the need for clear collaboration to protect their moral and ethical values, as they would call it, and their democratic institutions and their independence against these growing threats of people releasing information. And so in the early 50s, a number of people on both sides of the Atlantic sought a means of bringing people together who were basically leaders and people like that for the control of the masses. And so One of the things about the Bilderberg membership is that the reason why it's the most powerful front on earth is that membership. The membership is kings, queens, princes, chancellors, prime ministers, presidents, ambassadors, secretaries of state, Wall Street investors, international bankers, news media executives, and wealthy industrialists.